the practice zoo. This is a zoo where I turn off my mic and I just practice. It's like a zoo where you watch the animals, but I do want to say what I'm using. So I'm using, the way I practice is I always start the same way. I play the modulating warm-ups that I created for myself, but that are now available to anyone in the world. And I realized that many people who may know me as a performer, as sort of the wild woman of the harp, which is what I've been called, may not realize that in order to feel wild, I created these warm-up exercises so that I could really just warm up and feel the patterns and feel confident with my playing. And the reason I did it is because I was playing classical music and transitioning over to jazz, and I noticed that there were certain classical pieces that I really loved to practice with because they warmed me up in certain ways. But I also noticed that they weren't warming up my hands equally. They were warming up like my right hand more than my left hand. And there would be I'd be playing, I did it, I think it was mostly the Handel harp concerto, and which I think went something like this. I haven't warmed up yet. So, but anyway, like that, whatever. Like that. So there were things that I was doing that were helping me to warm up, but they weren't repetitive enough for me to actually start really getting strong in the patterns. So I looked for all the different techniques that I wanted to get better at. Like I wanted to get better at simply doing hand over hand arpeggios. I wanted to get better at doing the arpeggios that were like this. I wanted to get better. There was a whole bunch of things I wanted to get better at, including scales. And I didn't really have anything to do that with. So I put together all the things that I would stumble over, put them into these warm-up exercises. But then I thought, but I'm also playing jazz. I'm like in the transition period between having a classical technique and realizing how important that classical technique is and learning jazz. And I realized that the part of jazz that I was kind of struggling with was the modulation. And I realized that there was a certain modulation pattern that happened over and over and over again in every key. So I thought, what if I could put together all the technical things that I want to be able to do with my hands and put that sort of mental thing of being able to modulate using a specific chord progression? What if I could put them together in a set of exercises that had a beginning and had an end? And what if it was possible that I could shorten or lengthen those exercises depending on how much time I had? Like, let's say I had only 5 minutes. Could I do the whole exercise kinda in 5 minutes? Let's say I had 20 minutes. Could I expand it? And so I built it in that way. There's 3 different warm-ups, and you'll see me playing them, or you'll see the beast that is me, the Debilopolis. I play those. So the first one is all about arpeggios. You'll see me modulating between, or you'll see the beast modulating in between each one. Then shift over to scales, modulate in between those. And then I wanted to do something that had these classical patterns, like, but I really wanted to do something that had a very interesting, how can I say this? I wanted to get better at understanding not just jazz modulation, but also classical modulation. And so I wanted to create something that had interesting modulations. And I don't know if you'll hear this, but like, so I'm modulating in between. Right in the middle of the song, of the little exercise. So there were a lot of secondary modulations where you saw me just putting one lever up and then the whole thing modulated to a new key where I would do the whole thing again. And theoretically, I would also say out loud to myself what those modulations were. Now, that's something that I haven't quite got yet, but that's what you'll see me do. You'll see me go through the whole set from arpeggios to scales to that sort of classical one. And I originally wrote this for pedal harp. I didn't think it was possible to shift it over to the lever harp. And I think you'll see why when you get to that section. Well, first of all, you'll see me modulating and you'll see me kind of creating a diversion while I'm modulating. So I'm playing while I'm modulating. One of the cool things about the lever harp is you can literally see me do it because you'll see me shift these levers. But I didn't think it was possible to do the third warm up, the one that is that had these modulations. For one thing, I didn't know I could actually do two levers at once. Let's see, where am I? Well, anyway, so and there's all these other, I'll show you again. So I realized that there was all these different kind of lever changes. One is when you put two of them. One is where I'm doing two like this. You'll see them when I get there. It took a lesson with Maeve Gilchrist, a really amazing harpist who I grew up with the lever harp, for me to realize, oh, it is possible for me to do all that. I can adapt this a little bit and it is possible. So I was able to adapt it for the pedal harp, or lever harp, as well as the pedal harp. That's what I'm going to be doing. If you want to do it as well, I put the link right up there to the modulating warm-ups. When you look at those, depending on what level you're at, technical level you're going to be like, oh my God, that's a lot of notes. Well, the thing is, it's all patterns. And those patterns, once you get them, like in the very first one, this pattern, what was it? Is that what I do? Oh no, sorry. Like that, that's a pattern here, same exact pattern here. And then I jump up and then I come back down with the same patterns. Then I do the same exact pattern here. Guess what? I do the same exact pattern here. And here. Then I do it again. And then I go to a new pattern, which is something else I wanted to develop my skills with, which is, I forget what I call this. It's arpeggiated inversions or inverted arpeggios. So part of what I love about it is, even though it looks complex, even though it works a lot of my body, it's not something I have to think a lot about once I get the pattern. In other words, I don't have to think about the music. I can think about physically what I'm doing, how my body is. Am I comfortable? Am I being relaxed? I can think about my technique. So I wanted to show you this because I think many people may not realize that in order for me to feel comfortable playing things that might be, might not sound like classical music, because they're not, like, for example, blues. No, not that. It's really helpful to me to have all the basics that come along with a classical technique. So it may not seem like the classical arpeggios have to do with this, but they do. They do. And so I just wanted to tell you that, and then I'm going to turn off my mic and I'm just going to play my harp. Once I've warmed up, then there's other songs that I go through that I'm working on, some of them that I've been working on for years, just to kind of find out how, sometimes I have an idea, but it takes me a while for me to find out how does that piece actually work. And I can't really craft it. I have to play it and then find out how it wants to work itself. So you'll hear that as well. Now, I can see comments from you, and so you're welcome to comment while I'm playing. And I don't know what I sound like, so I don't know if it's distorted. I don't know if the harp. I've noticed I've had some problems with the harp that just gets softer and softer. I don't know why. It has something to do with this app or something. Um, but you can talk to me. I like you can talk to the animals in the zoo, but basically I'll just be an animal in the zoo from here on. I guess that's all I need to tell you. Let me turn off my mic, and here we go. I have a phone call in 10 minutes. Okay. me that long to get on. Well, that's what these exercises are for. That's what these warm-ups are for. All right. Where were we? Okay. Wait a minute. I'm just going to call them and ask them if I can. I'm going to text and see if I can call later. Just a second. 1 minute, please. I would like to complete practicing. Done. Claudio, thank you. It's okay, right? Wait. Now I'm putting that in my text. Okay, wait a second. All right. Carrying on. Here we go. Key of A. I always wondered what it would be like sound effects with the harp. Wow! 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 Boom! 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 Like that. I need something to drink. I'll be right back. gonna need more than this soon. No answer yet. Time to stop. Mm. Mm. Well, if the phone rings, I'll answer it and I'll have to get off. How's that? Okay. So, where were we? We were in the key of A. I'll be back later.